Hello everyone. Today I will present our paper, A Unified Object, Centric Spatial, Temporal Graph Reasoning Framework for Audio, Visual Question Answering. Audio, Visual Question Answering, or AVQA, requires a model to answer natural language questions by jointly understanding video content, audio signals, and question semantics. Compared with traditional visual question answering, AVQA is more challenging because it requires both multimodal understanding and temporal reasoning. In this work, we propose a unified object-centric framework that tracks sounding objects, models their spatial, temporal evolution, and performs question-guided graph reasoning for more accurate multimodal inference. This slide presents the overall motivation and contributions. Existing AVQA methods mainly rely on frame, level or patch, level representations. Such coarse-grained modeling often introduces irrelevant information and makes it difficult to accurately locate the objects that are truly related to the question. In addition, question semantics are usually injected only at the fusion stage, limiting their influence during reasoning. To address these issues, we propose a unified object-centric spatial, temporal graph reasoning framework. First, the Motion-Guided Object Tracking Module, or MOT, identifies objects with significant local motion and constructs temporal trajectories across frames. Second, the Sound-Guided Object Tracking Module, or SOT, aligns visual objects with audio features and highlights the objects that are most likely producing the sound. Third, the Question-Guided Spatial, Temporal Graph Module, or QSTG, constructs a unified graph containing both visual object nodes and audio nodes. Motion information and question semantics are incorporated directly into graph propagation, enabling fine-grained multimodal reasoning. As illustrated in Figure E, our method moves from coarse patch-level modeling to object-centric reasoning and achieves more accurate answer prediction. Next, I will introduce the methodology. The framework consists of three main stages. The first stage is motion-guided object tracking. We establish temporal correspondence between objects in adjacent frames based on IOU and feature similarity. Then, a motion saliency score is computed by comparing each object's movement with its neighboring objects. This helps suppress global camera motion while highlighting potentially sounding objects. The second stage is sound-guided object tracking. We compute audio-visual consistency between audio features and each visual object. Objects that are semantically aligned with the audio receive higher weights, allowing the model to focus on true sound sources. The third stage is the question-guided spatial, temporal graph module. Visual object nodes and audio nodes are organized into a unified graph. We design a motion differential gating mechanism to capture dynamic object evolution over time. In addition, a question-guided graph attention mechanism continuously injects question semantics into message passing, allowing the model to focus on the most relevant audio-visual evidence. Finally, the refined multimodal representations are fused and fed into a classifier to predict the answer. We evaluate our method on two benchmark datasets, Music, AVQA and Music, AVQA, A. As shown in the tables, our framework achieves state of the art performance on Music, AVQA, reaching an overall accuracy of 78.52%. The model also achieves the best performance across audio, QA, visual, QA, and audio, visual QA tasks. In particular, improvements on counting, localization, and temporal reasoning questions demonstrate the effectiveness of object-centric spatial, temporal modeling. On the more challenging Music, AVQA, A dataset, our method achieves 70.07% overall accuracy, showing strong robustness and generalization ability even under long-tail answer distributions. To better understand the contribution of each component, we conduct ablation studies and parameter analysis. The ablation results show that removing MOT, SOT, or QSTG all leads to performance degradation. Among them, removing QSTG causes the largest drop, confirming the importance of unified graph reasoning. We further analyze the effectiveness of motion saliency, temporal coreference edges, motion differential gating, and question guided graph attention. The results demonstrate that each proposed component contributes positively to performance. Hyperparameter experiments reveal that the best configuration is achieved when the object association threshold, semantic fusion coefficient, and graph depth are carefully balanced. Thank you.